Hey everybody, Edgy Tim here. Welcome to the first edition, the 2023 edition of Poll Talk. Ever exciting Poll Talk. Well, I do these videos because now, to be fair, the preseason polls, generally the Chicagoland top 30, I'm pretty extensive with. At least I try to be, and try to give an idea why I'm ranking certain teams where I am. Sometimes a little bit of that gets lost in the class polls. Again, I do class 8A through 4A. Again, I'll clarify for the umpteenth time, and it's okay. I don't mind doing it. I only go to 4A because, let's face it, I don't cover a ton of 1A through 3A. Certainly have been trying to get more involved with it. Big reason I do the Third and Lang podcast with Matt Lang is to keep a finger in small school and try to learn a bit as I go along. So from that aspect, I think we try to put in a pretty solid effort for the small school classes. But again, there are others that do a terrific job with it. I mentioned NUIC football all the time. Our guys from View from the West podcast, they do a tremendous job as well. So I leave 1A through 3A up to those experts, and they do a great job. So I trust stuff that they put out, and believe me, they know what they're doing. So so there you go. So this video, and again, I do these every week. I'll put them on the pay side to begin with, and then probably a day or so later, I'll flip them over to the free side. So give you a little thought, a little background behind why I ranked who and who got in and who got out, and who did I miss on, and who might be missing and why they're missing and what have you. So we'll start with the Chicagoland 25, Mount Carmel, then my number one team. I don't know how obvious that was to many of you. I think most of you, especially those on the Edgy Free board, probably not surprised at all. Incredibly deep team with with Mount Carmel this coming season. Jack Elliott, junior quarterback, just looks fantastic this summer. He's more than ready to step up and to take a prominent role on that offense. And again, we talk about the weapons coming back. Darian Dupree at running back and multiple very, very impressive wide receivers. The one question probably is a bit newer up front on the offensive line, but Coach Antonetti does such an amazing job with that offensive line every year that it's only a matter of time before they're up and clicking and ready to go. So very comfortable placing Mount Carmel, the number one team in Chicagoland, to start the season. Working our way down again, I don't think there's a whole lot of shockers here. Lincoln Way East, Loyola Academy, York, and Maine South fill out the top five. Maybe Maine South and York a bit higher. I think I have York higher than some other people. By the way, just so we'll clarify this, the Chicagoland 30 was out late July for those of you that are not on the Edgy Nation side. So this poll's been out for over a month before other people start putting their stuff out there. Pretty much the same with 8A through 4A as well. I always kind of work things out. And if you go to the Edgy Nation board, which I highly suggest, I kind of walk you through each week how I rank and how I'm doing it, and give you an early heads up on the rankings process. And you can find those every week on the Edgy Nation board. They always appear there first before they appear in story form. So there you go. But top five, I think York is one that's surprising people a little bit that I have them as high as I do, but we'll see how it works out. Again, I may have mentioned this before. I think some Glenbard West fans are a little upset that I have them ranked as low as I do. And maybe Lions I have ranked higher than a lot of people would. But I really like the West Suburban Silver this year. I think it reflects in my rankings, having the top three teams ranked in my top 30. We'll see how it works out. But I do like York quite a bit. And we'll get, obviously, Lions is in the – Lions makes the top 10 as well. And then Glenbard West 17, I believe. So, again, just giving you a little bit of an idea why Glenbard West is far down as they are, again, at 17 to open the year. Just offensively, a lot to replace. Very tough opener, very tough couple of games here. We'll see how things shake out. But I think when it's all said and said and done, I can definitely see Glenbard West continuing to move their way up. So not to worry about it. 6 through 10, Batavia at 6, Naz at 7, Lions at 8, as I mentioned, Palatine at 9, and Providence Catholic at 10. Don't know how you guys feel about it. I haven't heard a ton of feedback, positive or negative, so I'm going to guess you're okay. I mean, Batavia is Batavia. To me, Batavia is a contender every year now in 7A and generally one of the favorites in the Duquesne. Naz is just incredible with the amount of young players that they have, and yet these kids are still young. Logan Malachuk, I mentioned Gabe Kaminsky, both juniors, both will be 3-year varsity starters this year. It's just crazy. So the talent is there for Naz. The schedule definitely not going to be easy, but the talent's there. I mentioned Lions. Just like the talent level, just like what they have coming back. You start with Ryan Jackson, a quarterback, and really good receiver core. Eddie Turek is a standout, just an absolute stud on both sides of the line. A lot to like. There's just a lot to like about Lions this year. So again, I think the Lions will end up having a solid season. Palatine saw that coming a year ago. Dominic Ball committed to Tulane, big-time running back, big-time playmaker. Some key kids on both sides of the ball as well. Jalen Williams is already a Power 5 recruit. He's a 4-star ranked already, and he's going to be just nationally sought after. So, again, Palatine, I think, has kind of firepower and star power to really kind of separate themselves a little bit out of the mid-suburban West, and to hopefully make a deep run wherever they fall, either 7A or 8A in the playoffs. So Providence, again, one of the big questions I asked about Providence this offseason was last year a one-year fluke, or is Providence for real? Trust me, Providence is very for real. Tyler Plants and his staff have done a tremendous job of turning that program around really quick, and those kids are heading on the right path, and they are heading up. So, again, Providence I have at 10. Now we work our way down 11 through 15. 11 Warren Township, 12 Kankakee, 13 St. Rita, 14 Prairie Ridge, 15 Brother Rice. Warren, some people will argue, especially those named Micah Jones. Warren maybe a little bit too low here, but again, for me, it's a little bit greener on the offensive side. It seems to me like Warren, if there's one side of the ball that they always seem to maybe struggle with a little more, to me, it always seems to be the offensive side. Warren defensively still very strong every year and will be again this year. Again, Warren, 8A state title contender. I don't care how you frame it. They're that good. Kankakee, still plenty of talent left. Very interesting week 1 game, obviously, hosting Naz. I think we'll learn a lot about the Ks in that. I'm a huge fan of Miles Osei. I think it's a terrific hire for Kankakee. I'm willing to bet you're going to see Miles Osei's impact as early as his first year on that program. Again, just a terrific motivator, terrific head coach, and K's are going to do some really good things. St. Rita, again, schedule is stacked. You do have some key kids coming back. Jed Hilding comes back at quarterback. He'll have a couple of years of experience under his belt. DJ Stewart, the big back, the bus, if you will. You got some names to replace up front on the offensive line and some other key spots as well. But I think Rita's good enough to definitely be in the top 15 and to definitely be able to hang with everyone on the schedule this year. 14 Prairie Ridge, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I know some others don't have the Wolves anywhere near here. Man, I think that's a mistake. I really do. When Chris Schremp tells me he really likes his line play, that says a lot because he doesn't come out and say that every year. And I think Prairie Ridge is on their way to a very strong season. By the way, Prairie Ridge as a 5A team this year. That's a little scary if you're in 5A. And then Brother Rice, again, a little bit more experience offensively than defensively, but still plenty of talent at Brother Rice. Again, schedule's brutal. They open on the road at Maine South, and I'll be at that Friday night game. But they will find a way to get at least 5 wins again in the playoffs. They'll be a dangerous team. 16 through 20, 16 Marist. You like how I always have Brother Rice and Marist right next to each other? I don't do it on purpose. It just seems to work out that way. Marist at 16, Glenbard West at 17, Nequa at 18, Lockport at 19, St. Charles North at 20. Yeah, a little bit. Some people have had some questions down in this part. We talked about Glenbard West at 17. Still got a lot of love for the hitters. There's no doubt. Marist again, young on really both sides of the ball, but especially offensively. Mark Coy returns a running back, nice player, and Marist is never short on talent, never short on offensive skills. So they will figure things out defensively. Brad Fitzgibbon's a very, very good player, potential Power 5 kid. But this is going to be a younger team, and that's kind of why I've kind of suppressed the rankings. I love when people tell me I don't rank Marist high enough, and then you ask the free board, and they'll tell you I overrank Marist every year. So I don't know who you're going to believe. Neuqua Valley at 18, I like Bill Ellinghouse once again somehow finds a quarterback. Every year the guy has a really good quarterback. This time it's Ryan Moeller, who looked great this summer. I thought did a nice job last year filling in as the backup quarterback, and I think ended up playing just as much time as a starter than he did as a backup. So that's a positive. Ryan Mascari, junior tight end, is going to continue to get some recruiting looks. Miles Miskell is a really good two-way player. Carter Stair, one of the Stair brothers that have been in that program for a long time. So a lot of firepower offensively here for Neuqua Valley. I like Neuqua, obviously, to win the DuPage Valley as well. Lockport at 19. Again, it was a very young Lockport team last year. That combined with the fact that they had a lot of injuries to deal with last year. They're healthy now. Some really good experienced kids coming back and some younger names that have some talent as well. Mike Pratt in particular, sophomore D lineman, is going to wind up being a Power 5 kid when it's all said and done. So Lockport, very strong. I like him at 19. 20, St. Charles North. Again, plenty of talent at St. Charles North. Now, whether they can get past the Batavias and the Genevas. Yes, Geneva's on the way up, as you'll hear in a minute. Remains to be seen, but again, you'll be hard-pressed, I think, to find a quarterback with more upside than Ethan Plum has these days for St. Charles North. Jake Furtney's an absolute stud, two-way monster, just plenty of talent here. 21 through 24, Hersey at 21, IC Catholic Prep at 22, Morgan Park at 23, Kenwood at 24. Very simple. I like Kenwood. I like Morgan Park. I think this has the potential of being a real up year in the public league, at least from the top team standpoint. I think once Kenwood gets through the regular season, they wind up in 6A. I think Kenwood could make some noise in the postseason, and Morgan Park, I think, can make some noise. I think I have Morgan Park ranked higher than other people, and I feel really good about that because Morgan Park has a roster full of kids with multi-year varsity experience. A lot of them are seniors this year. And this team has progressively gotten better, so I think the Mustangs have a real chance here of making a nice run in 2023. IC Catholic Prep, again, just solid. You're not going to tell a whole lot from the first couple games. Bowman Academy out of Indiana, just not a very good program, but you got a week 1 game, and then they picked up Chicago War in week 2. And again, that week 2 opening for IC Catholic Prep was there for a long time. So I bet if you talk to Bill Kreft and the Knights, they will tell you they're just glad they have a game week 2. So I'm not going to be able to tell a whole lot early how good this team is, but believe me, plenty of talent. KJ Parker, Eric Kerner, Dominic Kulak. There's just a lot of talent at IC Catholic Prep. They're going to be very tough. But as one of the reasons I haven't down this far, schedule's tough. It's no joke. You leave the Metro Suburban, you move to the Catholic League, and your schedule reflects it. So nothing's going to come easy. Nothing ever does come easy for those in the Catholic League, especially this realigned Catholic League. It's stacked. So we'll go through 25 through 29. 25 is Geneva, 26 JCA, 27 Lake Zurich, 28 Naperville North, 29 Lamont, and 30 is Minooka. So we'll go through them real quick. Geneva, absolute stud, and Talon Taylor, the junior wide receiver, is going to wind up being a Power 5. I think he already is a Power 5 kid. Wind up being highly, highly ranked in this class. Game breaker, game changer, and then plenty of experience around them as well. So Boone Thorgerson, I think, has done a really nice job of getting Geneva back in the fight here. It's a big year for the Vikings program. This is a year that I think they can really take a step up and get back to where this program was several years ago under Rob Wasinski. So Excited for Geneva, 26 JCA. Some graduation losses for sure. It was a very strong senior class. I try to explain that to people. It was more than just for football. It was overall athletically a great senior class for JCA. You still got some key kids back. H.J. Grigsby, a running back, very talented athlete. Dylan Johnson, already verbally committed to Wisconsin for both football and wrestling. So JCA is going to reload a bit, should be fine. But as I mentioned, the schedule's tough. Really, right out of the gate, week one, taking on Iowa City, a team that features about a half dozen Division I prospects. So nothing easy right out of the gates for the Hilltoppers. They're at 26. 27, Lake Zurich. Again, I like the Bears quite a bit. I think Rod Plants has them going in the right direction. We'll see. There's a couple of good Jacob Witt, offensive lineman, is going to be a big-time guy, 6'6", 300 pounds. Big-time recruit for sure. Lincoln Adams is a multi-year varsity starter on both sides of the ball. Jackson Piggott, good player for Lake Zurich the last year or two. And then I mentioned the running back as well. And it's a very solid program. Chris Peroni at Lake Zurich is a starting running back, and just a very solid roster again. And Lake Zurich's getting back to where they were. Naperville North, you lose Aiden Gray, you bring in Jacob Bell to replace him. It's going to take Jacob probably a little while to get adjusted, but Jacob Bell is going to wind up being a Division I level quarterback when it's all said and done. Just a junior. Luke Williams is an absolute stud, stand out for Naperville North. Play receiver, play safety, already committed to Purdue. And there's some other talent as well. I'm thinking of Kaiser Williams, kind of an outside linebacker, safety type. Some good linemen up front as well. So Naperville North should be pretty solid and in the hunt in the DVC this year. Lamont at 29. A little bit more rebuilding than people might realize with Lamont. Lamont had a really good senior class, but there's still plenty of talent here. Definitely keep your eye on Nathan Kunikis. Albert's younger brother, who played some running back and played, I think, safety last year. He's a quarterback this year. It's a name to remember. He is going to have a huge season for Lamont, and the Lamont football team is going to be very difficult. Yes, still no nickname for Lamont, but we'll keep working on that. And then finally, Minooka at 30. Again, my hometown team. I don't rank them lightly. I don't include them in everything. I think I'm kind of harsh when it comes to them and how difficult it is. You know, I look at them closely. I don't like to blow smoke up the local team. So this team's good. This team's got some possibilities for sure. Nathan Mall, the senior quarterback, has looked good this summer. I think his play is an absolute key for Minooka, because if Minooka can establish any kind of play action passing game, I think the run game will be good. The offensive line will be young, but they're big. Brady Barrowman's already committed to Ball State as a leader up front on the line. Good skills as well. Joey Partridge is a great football player, running back, can play some defense as well. Ephraim Ramirez is another name, kind of a two-way player for Minooka. And then keep an eye on Caden Garcia, converted linebacker, moving him on the D-line this year, and he's had a terrific summer. So can't forget about Donovan Anderson either, wide receiver from Minooka. His older brother is at NIU, and I think Donovan has a chance to, who knows, maybe he'll join his older brother. So Donovan's a big name to watch in that offense. And then Carson Jacoby, as well as a tight end, will draw and has drawn and will continue to draw FCS level interest. So top 30. As far as the others in the Chicagoland 30, I list Homewood Flossmoor, Jacobs, South Elgin, Richards, Glenbard South. Basically a lot of different schools, and some that I actually have to go in and correct because I duplicated them. Oops. Bad me. I'll do that once we're done. So I mentioned Glenbard South, Fenwick, Oswego, Yorkville, Naperville Central, Morris. A lot of teams. Simeon, Richmond Burton, Wilmington, St. Charles. Actually, that's wrong. St. Charles North should be out. St. Charles North is in the top 30. Lake Forest is a name I thrown in there. St. Pat's, Bennett, Shepherd, South Elgin, Glenbard South. Feel good about that group. Feel good that they're knocking on the door, maybe not into 30 right now, but that will change. Obviously, as the weeks move along, that will change as well. But there you go. Just some thoughts on my Chicagoland top 30 rankings for week 1, the preseason. And hey, go watch a game, will you? See ya.